Hot.
Thank you, they are hot. So I'm Dr. Luke, I'm a hypnotist, and I'm going to be speaking about running and motivation and hypnosis for you guys today. What is hypnosis? Hypnosis is a bit like head hacking, to be quite honest with you. So when I work with people, I help them lose weight, make lots of money, or just have incredible sex. The things, yeah, good, we've got someone with a sense of humour here. So, that's right, we got one here. But what I specialise in is helping people quit smoking in 1 hour, or gastric band hypnosis, which is a revolutionary way to help people lose weight. Our catchphrase, our tagline at Hypnosis is free your mind and your butt will follow. So, what is hypnosis? Has anyone ever been hypnotised? Have you ever, hands up? No one's ever been hypnotised here. Well, so hypnosis seems mystical and scary. All hypnosis is utilising your imagination, your intelligence, and your focus. So as long as you're above reasonable intelligence, so basically as long as your IQ is above 70 and you can follow instructions, everyone can be hypnotised. And you're all here today and you're fully dressed, so I imagine you're all above average intelligence. What does hypnosis, thank you very much, what does hypnosis feel like? Well, you know what, it just feels like you're profoundly relaxed, to be quite honest with you, but we can get profound changes with people. Has anyone ever daydreamed here? Can I have what about a couple people? All right, yeah. Has anyone ever driven home, they've been on the highway and you've missed your exit and you're like, huh, how did I miss that? That's hypnosis right there. Or you meet up with a friend and you're chatting and it seems like only a couple minutes have gone by. Then you look at your watch or your cell phone and an hour's gone by. Anyone had that experience? That's a form of hypnosis here. And why hypnosis is really, really good is, has anyone ever used willpower to try and lose weight? Set of hands for me. Yeah, just a couple of us? I know I have. Anyone ever use willpower to stop smoking? A couple of us, yeah. So here's the thing about willpower. If it worked long term, nobody would be overweight, nobody would be smoking, nobody would be on antidepressants, we'd all be happy and no one would start any wars anymore. So willpower doesn't work. It might work for a couple of weeks. In fact, statistics for New Year's resolutions are within the first 3 weeks, 97% of people have broken all their New Year's resolutions because willpower doesn't work. It works about 3 weeks when that fire's underneath your butt in the new year, then you get back onto your life and you get grounded down again. Why hypnosis is good is we can just bypass all that, get into your unconscious mind and start to make those changes. It's easy, it's effortless, and it's a really lot of fun as well. So typically, what do we use hypnosis for? Well, like I say, my bread and butter, so to speak, is helping people lose weight or helping people to stop smoke. These are typically the big things. Phobias, you've got a phobia to come over, but also sports performance. So I'm also a certified personal trainer. I'm the head trainer of Snap Fitness. So typically I have clients that are great golfers, for example, or great runners. They're far better technically than I ever could be. They've got all the technical skills, but something gets in their way. And it's always the unconscious thing. Like Tiger Woods, from a very, very young age, hired a hypnotist. His father hired a hypnotist to be his caddy to help strengthen his mind. And in the UK, I don't know if anyone's heard about a legendary marathon runner we have in the UK called Paula Radcliffe. Anyone heard of Paula Radcliffe? She's very, very famous over there. I think she might even be an OBE or MBE from the Queen. But she hired a hypnotist as well. Great runner. And typically what we do is, you know, as a trainer and a hypnotist, when I train people, especially professional athletes, they'll spend about 90 to 95% of the time on the physical stuff, because we know the physical skill is very, very important. And they might spend 3 to 5% on the time on the mental aspects. And studies have shown us that the people who spend at least 50% on the mental as well as the physical, their success goes over and over and over. You'll see people when they'll get into the zone, you'll see a Tiger Woods or a runner, they'll be in the zone and they'll just be knocking the ball out of the park or scoring these great times when they're running. But when they get that setback, you'll see once they miss the ball, they miss a foot, then bang, they slowly start to go downhill from there. That's what we call the flow state. And sometimes, anyone ever heard of the flow state? Never heard of the flow state. The flow state is kind of when you're in that place where you're just not thinking, like you're not thinking about running, you're just there. You're not thinking about golfing, you're just slicing and hitting the ball for miles and miles and miles. It's just when you're in that moment, when you're in that place where everything seems easy and effortless, just like you're floating in a flow state. And if you talk to any great athlete or anyone who's really truly great at what they do, they get into this flow state almost automatically, from writers to actors to professional athletes. And it's mystical. It's like, how do we get into this flow state? Do we have to be like the greatest runner of all time? No, there's like steps that you can do to get into this flow state. And before you leave tonight, if you've signed in on that little sign-in sheet, I'm going to send you all the gift of 10 ways to get into the flow state, and I'll email that guys to you, so it'll be really great value to you. Typically with hypnosis, doctors and dentists will use it. I work with a couple of medical doctors and dentists, and they'll use it for stuff like painless childbirth without any medication, if you can believe that or not. I know it sounds crazy. Doctors will use it for removal of wisdom teeth. I've seen people have their wisdom teeth removed with no anesthetic. It's the craziest thing, and no pain at all. And also, they say one of the most painful operations is varicose vein removal. I've seen people hypnotized to have their varicose veins removed, and that is like incredibly painful, incredibly painful. So, again, what is hypnosis? It's just the power of intelligence, imagination, and focus. So as long as you're reasonably intelligent, as long as you can focus, as long as you can use your imagination, you can be hypnotized. So I could stand here and talk till I'm blue in the face, but I want to give you guys like a physical feeling of just seeing how strong your minds are, how strong your power of focus, imagination, and intelligence. So can I get you guys all to stand up for a minute? And just make sure you've got a little bit of room. Just going to get you to shift around a little bit. And what I want you to do is, I want you to all, if you guys look here, if you just interlock your fingers like so, arms out in front, and then I want you to bend your elbows like you're making a desperate prayer. And while you're there, you might just want to make that prayer. And as your hands are nice and tight, I want you to get your index finger, and I want you to focus on the gap in between your index finger now. And in a moment, those fingers will touch. And when they touch, just allow your eyes to close. When they touch, just allow your eyes to close. Just imagine if your hands haven't touched, your fingers haven't touched just yet. Just imagine there's a magnet on one finger and a magnet on the other finger, and they get closer and closer and closer together. That's right, closer and closer and closer together. And you can open your eyes, look at your fingers, and relax, shake it out. Great. So pretty much all of you have great imagination there, great intelligence. I want to try something else for you guys now. You're just going to need a little bit of space in front. Let me show you what I want you to do first. This is really cool. I'm going to ask you to put your hands out like so. They're about 6 inches first in front of you, 6 inches away from each other. I want your hands to be slightly above your shoulders, but just don't do it just yet. Just watch me first. And I want you to focus on the gap. Focus on the gap in between your hands. If you do that now, focus on the gap in between your hands. But I want you to imagine, just imagine, use your power of intelligence, focus, and imagination. So imagine that there's a magnet. Just imagine that there's a magnet on the palm of each hand, and they get closer. Don't deliberately bring your hands together, but use the power of your own imagination. So if you can put your hands out in front right now, about 6 inches apart, look at the gap between your hands. Now just close your eyes and want them to come closer, will them to come closer. And when they do come closer, you can just simply relax. Just imagine, use your power of imagination, focus, and intelligence, and imagine that they get closer and closer and closer together. That's right. And imagine that magnet is really, really powerful, really, really strong. When your fingertips eventually touch, you could just have your hands there, keep your eyes closed, and be totally relaxed. Closer and closer and closer together. Some people's imagination is just a little bit more finely tuned than others here, but that's okay. You can be trained to be more hypnotizable, so you gain more things in your life. Closer and closer. Now imagine that magnet is now 500% stronger as your hands get closer and closer and closer together. Faster and faster and faster as you breathe out, your hands get closer and closer and closer together. You can relax your hands, shake them out right now. That's not really hypnosis, that's just a test to see how focused and how you can really laser in. Because these are the same skills any professional athlete will use to really get into the zone, to really get into their partner just before their run, or if things aren't going at work, they can switch those things off to use their power of focus, imagination, intelligence to continue to run and get great times. Audience participation time again. Can I have one volunteer, and I promise to give you a wonderful experience. Can I have one volunteer? Anyone? One volunteer here tonight? Nobody? No one wants to volunteer. Alright, actually, can I borrow you? Fantastic. What's your name? Nicole. Hey, Nicole, I'm Dr. Luke. Great. Nicole, before I use Nicole and give you a fantastic experience, give me a hit you or hurt you or be safe and secure. Sometimes people think hypnosis is mind control. It's not. I wish it was. If it was mind control, I'd be on a Caribbean island somewhere as a billionaire if I could really control your mind. So no one can control your mind unless maybe they have a gun. So I can't control any of your minds. I can't make anyone do anything they don't want to do. Your unconscious and subconscious mind will keep you safe at all times. So, great. Thank you for coming out. Can we give her a what's your name? Nicole. Can we give Nicole a round of applause? Thank you for being great. Fantastic. I'm going to give you a fantastic experience and make you better rhymer. Is that okay with you? Fantastic. So all I need you to do today is I'm just going to give you some instructions. They're going to be very clear. I just need you to follow them like that. Does that make sense? Fantastic. Now, if I ask you to see something, I want you to see it as real as you can. If I ask you to hear something, I want you to hear it as best as you can. If I ask you to feel something, I want you to feel it as best as you can. Is that totally cool? Great. Can I get you to face me and just put your feet together? Fantastic. And can I just borrow your right hand for a second? Great. I want you to focus right there on your right hand. That's right. And now, as your hand starts to get closer and closer and closer to your face, you can take a big, deep breath in. And when your hand gets closer, you can just allow your eyes to close. That's right. And sleep and just relax right there. Stay right there with your eyes closed. Now you're safe and you're secure. I promise to take great care of you and give you a wonderful experience here today. Now in a moment, I'm going to take this very hand here. I'm going to take this very hand here and I'm going to ask you to pull it on the bench just to your side. In fact, I'm going to take this hand if I can borrow it and I'm going to pull it on the bench to the side. And I want you to use your power of imagination, your power of intelligence and your power of focus today. And imagine that hand is stuck, welded, glued to that chair. Now you know it's not really glued, but I want you to imagine, really believe, really embrace it fully and completely. So I'm going to, once you accept that suggestion and you understand, if I just get you to nod your head, fantastic, you're doing great. Guys, while your hand stays close to your face right there, and you continue to relax, and you'll hear sounds around you, but those sounds don't need to distract you at all, so you can relax. Can we just give her a round of applause for being great? Take that hand now as your eyes close, you're nice and safe, and I'm going to get you to slowly just kneel down for me. That's great, nice and safe. Come all the way down, keeping your eyes closed. Now I want you to imagine, I want you to focus now in your mind's eye that this hand is stuck. Now we know it's not really stuck. I want you to use the power of your mind, for your imagination, your intelligence and your focus. I want you to imagine now that we're placing glue on your fingertips. We're placing glue on your fingertips and they're gluing, they're getting stuck. We're now placing a little bit of glue now. Is that glue